back to the Freak Show. Bumpy McSquigums here. I want to thank you all for joining me as I continue with my first look. Let's try. I'm showing you. I don't know what to call it, guys and gals. I guess we'll just say it's a first look at Gemstone IV. Again, this is going to be a series that if you really like it and you get behind it and there's a lot of, I don't know, interest in the series, I'll continue to play it. We'll do it like as a weekly thing or whatever the case is. If you're not sure what to think yet and you want to reserve judgment, wait for a couple more episodes till I'm done with the first look. Then let me know what you think. Is it something that's just like, oh, that's outdated, I don't want to see it at all, it's terrible, blah, 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 blah. Or, oh my god, it's amazing, it's super awesome, yes, more of this, I want to join you, let me play, go, 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 blah, 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 blah. Whatever you guys want, let me know. Just take a look, sit back, enjoy, relax. Hopefully it's a fun time for all of you. I'm going to have a little bit of a blast playing it. It's kind of, again, it's a blast from the past for me, so it should be fun. And we're starting our new character. This looks totally different than it did at the end of the last episode. I actually had to redo the character because I had settings wrong and I screwed up my recording. So I had to redo the entire character after we did the last episode. But it's okay, it didn't take me very long. I was able to use the video as a point of reference and went much, much quicker. Anyway, we're good. Everything's set. I don't have a hand axe this time around. Unfortunately, I got stuck with a broadsword. Who wants one of those? It's fine. Anyway, so you'll notice that it looks totally different than it did at the end of the last episode. This is the wizard front end. Do not learn to use this because it's outdated. It doesn't have all the options or all the things that the other front end has, Stormfront or whatever it's called. This is not the way you want to learn how to play it. The problem is, this is the way I learned how to play it. If I don't have it looking like this, it feels weird. I don't want to say it gives me a headache. It's just hard for me to get my head around it. I need to slowly wean myself off of this and move into the future or the current level of the game with the correct front end. Like, I don't have certain things. Like, here you can see down at the bottom down here, stamina points. There's nothing that indicates stamina points over here, and a lot of my other stuff doesn't work correctly. So this is definitely not the way you want to do it, but again, for me, it's going to work better. It's going to be easier for me to do. I'm going to be more comfortable doing it this way to showcase it to all of you guys. So, that's what I'm doing. Anyway, we're going to begin our adventure. Right now, we're going to focus 100% on trying to get through all of the, we'll say the tutorial side. If you recall at the end of the last episode, I nodded or I accepted the Sprite to be able to be like my mentor, my guide, as it were. So we're going to go through what the Sprite wants us to do at this point. So, without any further ado, I'm going to nod to the Sprite. Alright, and I will be occasionally stopping and skipping some stuff just to make sure that we don't miss any opportunities that we have to do, because I can now read most of the stuff and get a rough idea of what I need to do. Plus, they do cool things like highlighting the word look to make sure we look at him. But a lot of it I will be able to read all the way through. Sometimes I'll have to do something and then come back, read, and then continue on. So just try to follow along the best you can, and just, again, have some fun. Enjoy me sharing this with you and showcasing it to you. So let's talk about me first. I come from, the Sprite breaks off in mid-sentence, interrupted by a frantic arrival of a gaunt, terrified-looking man. The man spots you and stops dead in his tracks. The Sprite whispers, I wonder what he's running from. He's an odd man. You should take a look at him. Look at man. Lean and gaunt, the man has a haunted look in his eyes. He wears a threadbare, black cloak, and his shoes are muddy and torn. Turning to you, the emaciated man says, They're after me. They catch me. It's all over for me. They're determined to persecute me for my beliefs. He sighs and looks around nervously. I'm going to hide here, he says. Please don't let anyone know that you've seen me. With one final pleading look, he melts into the shadows. The Sprite whispers, Things are really starting to get exciting around here. I wonder why the people are after him. Let's sit down and see what happens next. So we just type sit, and we sit. A wild-eyed woman comes running in at full speed, looking hopeful. She comes to speak with you. I'm looking for a thin man wearing a black cloak. He set a serpent loose in our infirmary because he wanted to claim souls for his lord Lukos. We cannot let him escape. She begins to search for the man. That sounds like the work of Lukos, all right, our Sprite says. He feeds on the souls of the recently fallen. I can tell you more about him at any time if you're interested. Just ask me about Lukos. Her search is fruitless. The woman turns to you. Can you help me, she says. Did you see a thin man in here? The Sprite whispers. You can answer her by saying yes or no. Or you can hit the quotation marks to talk. I'm going to ask the Sprite about Lukos. Lukos is the god of the unending death. Unlike Lorminstra, Lukos shows no reverence for the souls of those who have died. To him they have two uses, either to animate one of his undead minions in his effort to extend his power, or as sustenance for himself. Lukos' primary foods are the blood of the dead and the souls of the recently fallen. Yeah, we'll help you. So we said yes. The woman nods to you. I knew it, she says. He must be hiding around here somewhere. Let's search for him together. The sprite whispers, a treasure hunt, my favorite. Use the search to look for hidden people and things in the room. Search. You search around for a moment, then spot the emaciated man hiding nearby. You point to his location to the wild-eyed woman. We found him! And three large men arrive. They tie the emaciated man's hands together behind his back and drag him away. Her hands clasped together, the woman turns to you. Thank you, she says, for helping me bring this man to justice. The followers of the Soul Eater are dangerous to everyone around them. Put broadsword in my backpack. Oh, we don't even have a pack. I'm going to accept this. Put reinforced shield in my backpack. Wear shield, get a broadsword, rem shield. Alright, sorry guys and gals, I'm just getting my weapons and everything in the right spots here. Alright, so, I would be deeply honored if you would accept this gift from me. The wild-eyed woman offers you a small shield. You can accept or decline. I accepted. The sprite bounces up and down on your shoulder and whispers, that's a nice looking shield, that is. But before you can accept it, you'll have to empty one of your hands. You should put either your broadsword away or the shield in a container like your backpack. That's easy to do. Just put broadsword in my backpack, then accept the offer. So I did all that stuff. The wild-eyed woman says, may the gatekeeper watch over you and guard you from harm. It is my hope that you will consider converting to the faith of Lorminstra. But wait until you are ready. It is a very serious choice to make. Be well. After shaking your hand, the woman walks out of sight. We can ask... the sprite asked Sprite about Lorminstra. Lorminstra is the goddess of death and rebirth. Lorminstra is the keeper of the Ebon Gate. It is her decision whether a soul is allowed to return to Elanthea each time an appeal is made via a ritual of resurrection, and even Koar will not gainsay her decision. Lorminstra regards Lukos' enslavement of souls to animate his undead as abominable. She supports her brother Ronan in his struggle against Lukos' minions, and also petitions Koar frequently to take direct measures to curb Lukos' activities. Just nod when we're ready. Sprite says, nicely done, you came out pretty well there, I'd say. That could be a very valuable shield. You might want to find a bard, that's willing to lore sing to it. That's a good way to divine the secrets of mysterious items. If you want to keep it, you should register it in case it gets lost. And if it's not something you want to keep, you can always sell it at the pawn shop. Register my shield. Boom. Alright. So we're going to nod to the sprite and see what's next. Are you all set? Good. Let's find something for us to do. Stay a while and listen. Wrong game. It's fine. Come on, Sprite. Spit it out. Let's go, buddy. What are we going to do? I'm going to lean on my broadsword. I'm going to tap my foot, waiting patiently. Or impatiently. Why don't we go for a stroll about town? Should be entertaining, right? Nod to me if you're up for it. Nod, Sprite. Let's go, buddy. Great, I now have to figure out where we should go. He stares up at the sky, lost in thought. He grins gleefully. Grinning gleefully, the Grinch stole Christmas. I don't know, it's fine. Come on, Sprite, let's do this. Anytime you're ready. Alright, as the Sprite thinks, a depressed young warrior wanders in, wearing a sullen expression and sniffling quietly. The Sprite whispers, he seems sad. Do you want to ask him if he needs help, or shall we continue on with our walk? Ask warrior about help. Oh, you are a kind man indeed. Yes, I am. Thank you. Now, I was walking around town, and, well, being inexperienced, I'm not used to handling this sword yet. If I had known better, I would have sheathed it while I was in town. He's right, you know. It's always smart to sheathe your weapon while in town, but when you leave the gates, you must unsheathe it to be ready for battle once more. Anyway, I was walking from the pawn shop to the bank, and I fell over. I tried to balance myself with my sword, but it broke, and one of the pieces cut my leg. I need to go buy myself a new sword, but I can't walk very far right now. At least not until I find an empath to heal my leg. Could you help me out? Yeah, I can. I just sheathed my sword. Right, let's go get that warrior a new sword. You can get directions to places in town with the directions command, or DIR. We need to go to the weapon shop, so you can use the DIR weapon, or DIR wep, or directions weaponry if you want to go with the full. You can often shorten commands and things in this game, which makes it infinitely easier to do stuff to get there. Alright, so the young warrior smiles happily as he pulls out 500 silvers out of his pocket and hands them to you, saying, "Here we are, you go. That should be enough to cover the cost of the new sword at the weapon shop. I'll come find you after my leg has been healed." With a smile, he limps off. Alright, I know where the weapon shop is. Wait, maybe I don't. Let's find out. DIR wep. Nope, no idea. I believe... Oop, I gotta stand up. I believe we are in Ice Mule Trace. I am not familiar with this place very well. Or very much, I should say. I do not do well. Now, you can just leave it, and it will tell you, like, repeatedly where you need to head next. So you can, like, check. And I'm not going to read all the room descriptions, guys and gals. You can pause and read if you want. But for me, where I'm going is most important, and, like, what directions, obvious paths I can take. Like, down here. This is mostly what I need to see. But as you can see, it's telling us to go west. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to actually repeat it. South, just to speed it along. Southwest. South. West. And west. And south, and I think that's it. Yeah, go door. Alright, and then we're going to go order. Oh boy. The sprite on your shoulder leans over and whispers, "Yes, this is the place, so listen carefully. To buy the weapon, you will need to order from the merchant. He'll show you some items, and you should select the bone-hilted iron warblade and buy it." The bone-hilted iron warblade. A bone-hilted iron war sword? It says war blade. Ah, there it is. Number 13. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to order 13. And then we're going to buy it. There it is. Sold for 124 silver. Yes, that's perfect. Now let's go out and find that young warrior fellow. Alright, basically we just come outside and we wait, basically. I mean, we could walk around a little bit. The guy's going to basically limp up to us. And then we'll give him his weapon and he'll be on his way. It's good stuff. Again, this isn't the most compelling. Like, they've done a fantastic job with this, and it gives you a lot to learn. You can take your time. You can look around and see what's going on. Enjoy the experience of finding different places in town. But for anyone who's done this for a bit, it gets a little bit slow, but again, they've done a fantastic job. It's well written. Everything's really nice about it. I like it a lot. Ah, there you are. I've been looking for you. Did you get it? You can give the warblade to the warrior. Give warblade to double R. W-A-R-R. Thank you so much. You've really helped me out a lot. This warblade is even better than my last one. I really appreciate it. The young warrior hands you 1,000 silvers and gives you a firm handshake before striding out of the room. The dark blue sprite sitting on your shoulder carefully whispers, "Excellent work." Alright, so we're going to nod to tell him again that we want to do stuff. Alright, what shall we do next? Only time will tell. So you see where it says you've gained 1 physical training point, you've gained 1 mental training point. As you gain experience, which we're going to go ahead and hit experience button here, or type EXP, it does the same thing. It shows that we're level 0, that we have 446 experience, and we need another 2,054 to do that. And it says our mind is fresh and clear. Basically, your mind has various different states, from clear as a bell to fresh and clear to muddled to becoming numb to you can't take it anymore. You're basically fried, is what they consider that. And essentially, what happens is your mind is like a tub or like a container. And it fills up with experience. We're going to actually hit accept here in case this is like timed. It fills up with experience, and then it needs time to actually flow into you and become actual experience. It's an interesting mechanic. Anyway, let's see what's going on here. Spotting you, a halfling counselor holds his patrol. "Wait," he shouts. "Perhaps you can help me. I'm at my wit's end." The counselor says, "This town has been plagued by smugglers, and no matter what we do, we can't seem to catch the leaders. They all know what we look like, and they scatter whenever they see us coming. What we need is a spy. Are you willing to aid me?" Sprite leans over and whispers, Now there's an adventure for us, shall we? I mean, shall you step in and help him out? You can either accept the chance to help him or decline and to save his sorry hide. A spark of hope shines in the counselor's eyes when you agree to help. "You'll aid me," he exclaims. "This is good news indeed. I may even still have my job at the end of the day. Now, I can't pay you very much, but you'll be helping the town a great deal. What I want you to do is make your way over to the Honey Beer Inn, go into the main room, and hide. Smugglers are planning a rendezvous there, and I want you to gather any information you can about their next planned shipment. Once you've learned something, you come back here and you find me, or just come back and find me." Oh, I've always wanted to be a spy. This is great. Let's go to the tavern with DIR, a tab. Alright, south, east, go oak door. Alright, they said to hide. I'm going to go with stance offensive, and I'm going to go hide here. "Great hiding spot. They'll never see you here," the sprite says. And it also says, "Hey, here we are. All you have to do now is hide, stay still, and don't say a word, or the smugglers will spot you." So we'll just sit back here, we'll crack our one knuckle, apparently. Not all of them, just one singular knuckle. And we'll wait. And we will see what the smugglers do. So yes, this is the opening sequence. It kind of gets you familiar with a lot of the stuff, a lot of the verbs you're going to be using, like the directions inside of town, the hide, the sit, the stand, all the various different things. So, let's see. The man enters the room from the opposite direction, glancing over the shoulders as they approach one another. We're going to actually steal from man. We're going to do a quick look. Steal from smuggler. Because we don't want him to leave. I don't know how much time we have. Okay, confident that... Alright, directions glance over the shoulder as they approach one another. The first man tucks a piece of paper into the second man's pocket, gives him a nod, and slips out of the room. The second man remains where he is, making a great show of warming his hands over the brazier, fidgeting with excitement. The sprite nods to you. "I have an idea." The smuggler hums tunelessly as he waits for enough time to elapse before he can be on his way. If we get our hands on that piece of paper, we'll know exactly where the shipment is going to be. I don't think the smuggler will notice if you very carefully try to steal from him. I don't recommend stealing from other players. It will get you put in jail. There is a jail in this game. Don't do it. Don't do it unless you're willing to pay the consequences. Alright, so we reached in, we stole. We did it. Let's go find the counselor and show him what we've discovered. Oh, and you can probably unhide now that they're gone. So we're going to unhide. Alright, let's get out of here and let's look for the counselor. I'm just going to basically go west once, and he should appear. And then we can tell him all about it or give him the piece of paper. So, good stuff all around. Good stuff all around. Silence. Oh, and it's back. It's fine. The Naveling counselor spots you and waves. He asks, "Did you find the smugglers? Where is their next shipment going to be delivered?" "Show paper to counts." He snatches it out of your hand and reads it over, his eyes alight with excitement. "The temple!" he shouts. He looks around with embarrassment. "I'm sorry to ask you for even more help, but it would be a tremendous aid if you can go to the temple and wait for the shipment to arrive. Would you be willing to do that?" "Yep. Yes, I will." "It won't be difficult, I promise," he says. And again, I'm skipping some things that aren't super important, and we're trying to advance the story and everything else, so I apologize if I know I'm skipping some stuff. I'm not skipping a ton, but I am skipping some things. Just go to the temple, pretend like you're resting there. I'm sure they won't be suspicious. Just don't let them distract you. And as soon as the goods arrive, give a hoot like an owl, and our men will storm in and arrest the brigands on the spot. And I'll pay you a little more after we apprehend them, but here's something for your efforts so far. 200 silvers. And I'm sure you know what to do now. Directions to the temple. Yep. DIR temp. East. North. Northeast. North. 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 There is a town that I know where everything is, by the way. This is not the town. I know... I don't know how to pronounce it. Wenheimers or something like that? A landing? I know that place fairly decently. This place, not so much. Go ice ramp? Really? I went up the ice ramp twice. Sorry. Ah, that's where it's at. Go to the temple. And we should have some more advice. Here we are. Just look like you're praying or something. I don't know. Act innocent. Pray. Okay. So now we wait for the smugglers to show up. And then once they're all together with the shipment, we hoot like an owl. and we can do cool stuff like that. It's fine. Basically get them in trouble and get paid monies. Or we could turn on our counselor, and we can help the smugglers. Not going to do that, but we could. That is an option. Alright, think carefully about what to say. Are you interested? Alright, I'm going to say no because it's a limited time offer. A black-clad man arrives and looks around the room carefully as though surveying it for later acquisition. He ambles over to you and pauses a moment. You don't look too busy. I have an errand I have to run, and I can pay you quite handsomely for your time. Are you interested? Think carefully about this. If you want to help the smuggler out, say yes. If you want to stick with your lookout job, say no. I said no. Alright, we need to hoot right now. The man gives you an odd look, but goes about his business. Suddenly, several men enter the room at once, each of them lugging a large crate. They set the crates down in a pile and speak quietly with the black-clad man. He peeks inside one of the crates and then hands one of the men a small sack. They vanish as quickly as they arrived. It's a shipment. Now is the time to hoot if you still want to alert the authorities. You hoot like an owl, and the man takes off almost instantly. The halfling counselor charges in along with a horde of others. They see the crates, but look disappointed at the lack of smugglers to arrest. Nevertheless, they fan out into the rest of the building in a careful search. The counselor inspects one of the crates personally, nodding at what he sees. Smiling, the counselor shakes your hand. You've done the town a great service today. We will always be in your debt. I don't have much to give you, but please take these coins. I'd say you're well on your way to becoming a solid, upstanding member of this town. The counselor gives you 300 silver. He says farewell. He walks away. It says that we should now go to the bank. So basically, we're gonna actually stand up. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go ramp, and then we're gonna go DIR bank, and we're gonna head to the Ice Mule Trace Bank of Bankitude and Tracitude. Go Arch. Deposit all. Because your account is free, you can only have access to a single. No, I don't want to do this one. Normally, when you aren't using a free account, you have access to any bank in any town. Your funds don't transfer from bank to bank, but you can deposit, say, 1,000 coins in Ice Mule Trace, and then go to the landing and deposit 10,000 there, and then go to River's Rest and deposit 100,000 there, and then when you're back in Ice Mule Trace later on, you're like, you know what, I have 1,000 here. You pick it up, and then you go take it and ferry it around and all that stuff. But with the free account, you can only go with one town as to where you want to go. And if anyone is thinking to join me, and this does become a more continuous series of something that we're going to be doing, I am probably going to be heading to the landing at the end of this episode. So that being said, that's going to be where I'm at. So do not tie your accounts and everything to Ice Mule Trace unless you just want to go here and just learn this place, and then, you know, that be it. Just a thought, because I'm heading to the landing as soon as we're done. Alright. Nod Sprite. Go Arch. Nope. I didn't want them here. Okay. Sprite's alright. Alright, hello. Can we do anything to help? So the young girl... Let's see here. I'm sorry, guys. I moved. I wasn't quite expecting it to go that quickly. A weird young girl enters the room, dragging her unconscious form of her even younger child behind her. The younger child's abdomen is covered with bleeding wounds. After entering, the older girl collapses on the floor, out of breath from the effort of dragging. It looks like she has a nasty wound on her abdomen there. We ask if we can help. She says, yes, would you? My sister here was attacked by a giant rat. We're going to try to tend child abdomen. Severity is beyond anything that we can do. We can go to the herbalist and buy a musk ox tart. Okay. Or we could try to forage for herbs to help her. Or we could just wait and see what happens. Well, that didn't work. Can we try something else? DIR herbalism or herbalist? West, north, east, northeast. It does follow us, apparently. They follow us, I guess. Go building. Order. musk ox tart. That's weird. So order 9. How about inspect 9? Describe? No, describe. Describe 9. Those are different herbs. Oh, well, there you go. Order 9 by give tart to girl. Okay, we gotta go find her. So she should be somewhere, like she should appear dragging her sister here. Alright, that's it. Now we should go back and give it to the child's older sister. She should be showing up. There it is. Oh, too late. A worried young girl enters, dragging her sister. The wounded child wheezes once and then quietly stops breathing. The young girl wails, "Oh no, my poor sister, I must go find a cleric." She rushes out of the room. The sprite on your shoulder says, "We should lifekeeper using a white flask. Put tart in pack and backpack, actually. Get flask, pour flask in girl." In child, I think. Alright. So it says, we should lifekeeper using a white flask. Lifekeeping is a spell which keeps the soul from departing from the body it belongs to, allowing greater time to find someone who can perform a resurrection. The sprite grins, and you notice that your black canvas backpack feels a little heavier. You can use that by pouring it into things. So you pour the flask into the girl. So we force the child's mouth open. We pour a little bit of the flask in there. A luminescent web briefly forms around the wounded child and then fades into the body. So I'm going to put the flask back in my backpack. An older girl rushes in with a cleric following quickly behind. The girl indicates a wounded child, and the cleric murmurs a few magical words, then gestures at the child. A silver thread connecting the elderly, well-dressed cleric and the young wounded child appears and then quickly fades into invisibility. This is kind of the process by which you actually resurrect people. The cleric then goes and ties or life binds or whatever the spell's called to the dead body and then does some sort of thing, and then it does the resurrection spell and it drains both the cleric and the person, but the person comes back to life. It's a pretty cool little process there. Alright, let's see here. The well-dressed cleric murmurs a prayer under his breath and gestures at the child. We're going to give the cleric 110 silver. Okay. Let's see, I just gotta find where we're at here. A brilliant white light streaks down from the heavens and encapsulates the wounded child. A young wounded child awakens and looks very drained. With a prayer and a few gestures, an elderly, well-dressed cleric brings the wounded child back to life. The sprite on your shoulder whispers, "The practice around here is to usually tip clerics for their services. If you'd like, go ahead and give the cleric a few silvers." And I handed him 110 silvers. You sense that the gods are pleased and have bestowed favor upon you. Basically what we just did there is we earned a deed. If we die and we are unfortunately unable to be resurrected, we will be able to decay but not cease to exist. If you die with no deeds and you end up decaying, that's it. It's game over. You have to start all the way over at the beginning. So anything you can do to get deeds, always try to keep a handful of deeds on you at all times. And you can hit EXP. I'm going to accept what she's giving me right now. You can hit EXP and you can see right here, I'm going to highlight it. You can see that we have one deed. Come on, mouse, baby. So, we're okay. Alright, the well-dressed cleric left. The wounded child says, "Thank you so much for your help. I've got to go see an empath, but I want to give you this. I always feel safer when I put it on." The wounded child gives you a threadbare pink woolen hood. Oh, goody. That matches me so well. Oh, how sweet. Go on, take it. So we took it. You accept the child's offer. And we're going to put that on our head, because why not? Yeah. Nope. Can't do it. Alright. Putting the hood in our backpack. In our backpack. I'm assuming we have something already on our head at this point. Alright, we're going to nod to the sprite. And we have spent about a half hour already. We're going to go through till we finish this up. "A brave bard you are indeed. I can take you to the cave. Let's first make sure that you are ready to face the challenge." This is basically what he said. I've heard some stories about a cave just outside of town that is supposed to be the lair of a terrible beast. Are you up for smoking it out and taking it on? This could be dangerous, you know. Just give me a nod if you want to try it. Alright, so basically we need to get our broadsword back out. At a glance. And we're ready. Oh good, Brave Bard we are indeed. Let's do it. Come on, I'm ready. I'm going to actually go into stance defensive too. Say ready. Let's say ready. There are two extremes. Stance offensive, which is good for attacking at full strength, and defensive, which is good for being as protected as possible. In between those, you have advanced, forward, neutral, and guarded. If you want to learn more about them, use stance help. Essentially, I believe it's like a 20% incremental thing. So, stance offensive is 0% defense. Advance is 20% defense. What are the other ones? Sorry, forward is 40% defense. Neutral is 60% defense. Guarded is 80% defense. And defensive is 100% defensive. So it lowers your attack and it raises your defense the further down you go, or vice versa, the further up you go. Alright, so I'm ready. Let's do it. I know all about stances. Let's get this done. You'll learn about stance dancing too eventually too. Two. I can say two a few more times. It's fine. Poof! You feel unsettled for a moment, as though the ground had dropped out from under your feet. Just as you regain your balance, the sprite uncovers your eyes. Alright. So here we are in a dark cave. Well, here you are. I just have one more bit of advice before we begin our search for the terrible beast. The spell says, when we find the hideous creature, it will be time to attack. To do that, you need to attack the creature. If you know a spell would like to try using it, you'll first have to prepare the spell number, and then you can cast it at the creature. We don't want to do that. Alright, there's no reason to put it off any longer. Let's go track down that beast. I overheard someone say the beast was across a bridge somewhere, so let's head north and see if we can find it. So I'm going to look, and you see, I'm usually looking for this area right here when I'm looking at stuff. So it'll tell me which way I can go. So we want to be heading in a northward direction. So we're going to go north. Then we're going to go northwest. We're going to go northwest again. We're going to go east. We're going to go northeast. There should be a bridge, and there is. See right here, there's a natural stone bridge that arcs over the lake. And it says, oh look, see, there's a bridge right there. Let's go find out what's on the other side. So we're going to go bridge. And the creature should jump out. And there it is, a carrion worm slithers in. Carrion worm tries to bite you. So its attack strength is 29. Our defensive strength in defensive stance is 113. I think it's, I don't know what AVD is. It's something. It's like your advantage versus defense or something like that. Like your weapon type does something better. Again, I don't know everything there is about the game, but I know AS versus DS plus the AVD. And then you have a D100, and we got a roll, or the creature got a roll of 48 on its first attempt, which put it at -3. So what does that mean? That basically means if he rolls 100, he's still not going to do any kind of damage to us. So we're looking good. It has to basically do more than 100 to do any damage to us. So if it's anything less than 100, it will not hurt us. So no matter how high he rolls, you see he went from 48 down to 22 to 69, and then we're actually just parrying and evading him at this point. So we're going to wait until he goes and he does something. I'm going to go and hit stance offensive. Just going to stance off, and I'm going to attack the worm. So ATT worm. Our attack is only 44, but his defense is only 10. We rolled a 6. It's 76 plus. If we get over 100, which we just did, we rolled a 96. We got a 166 here. We just did 38 points of damage, and the worm rolls over and dies. Okay. Pointing to the dead worm, the sprite cheers your prowess and says, "Great work, you did it. Now's your chance. Skin the worm and search the worm." And that's that. So I'm going to go back into stance defensive, or stance def. Alright, the sprite jumps over your shoulder and flies around the room. "We did it! We killed the worm!" Suddenly the sprite stops in midair. "Hey," he shouts. "Look what I found." The sprite points to a cloudy blue potion in the corner, nearly hidden under a pile of scraps. Sheath. Get pot. Put pot in backpack. Where unsheath, I guess. Okay, so there we go. Not a bad little outing, if I do say so myself. If you want to explore a little, go ahead. Otherwise, just say ready. We are ready. And this is pretty much the end of the tutorial and the end of our episode. So I think what will happen is I will post these 2 episodes kind of back to back within the same day, roughly. And then the next episode I do will be maybe a day or 2 delayed. And that'll be our first time really getting out and exploring. I'll actually head all the way back over to the landing with a travel token. It'll take me directly there. And that's where we'll start off in the next episode. Alright, let's see here. Sorry about that, folks. I just sort of died a little bit there on the inside, and the outside was coughing and blood. No, there's no blood. All set, are we? And back we go, then. The dark blue sprite covers your eyes once more, and the unsettling feeling returns when it passes. Everything around you has changed. We're back at this place. Take all the time you want. You can sell the skins, or maybe find a bard or wizard to tell you what the potion does. Nod to me when you're done. Nod, Sprite. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the sprite gives you a long look. Well, he says, I guess this is it. You've learned everything I have to teach you, so it's time for you to strike out on your own. If you want to try life in a new town, you can give your travel token to the travel office clerk, and a guide will escort you safely to your destination. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go from Ice Mule Trace to the landing, or Weinheimer, or Weinheimers, or something landing, and that's going to be where I'm chilling. You can find a clerk in the stone cottage on the south road. You can also DIR travel, I think, works the same way. You may also want to stop by the Thirsty Penguin Tavern over on Stout Street. Trevor Dabbings can usually be found behind the curtains in the alcove just west of the entrance. He has a lot of good advice he is willing to share with adventurers. The sprite says if you'd like to pick up a few jobs to earn some silvers, you should look for the bondsman in Clovertooth Hall. You can ask him for a job. He sometimes has messages that need to be delivered around town. You may also want to hone your fighting skills while ridding the lands of pesky vermin. That can be lucrative too if the creatures carry treasure or have valuable pelts. A good place to explore first is a stone well just to the southwest and south of the Thirsty Penguin Inn. If you climb inside, you'll find rats everywhere. And when you're resting, try asking some of your fellow townsfolk for tales of their adventures. You may not be able to believe half of it, but it sure makes for a good story. You see something that looks suspiciously like a tear in Natiru's eye, but he rubs it away before you can be sure. I hope you don't miss me too much, says the sprite with forced cheeriness. You better take this mirror so you don't forget who taught you everything you know. The sprite gives you a wink and hangs a little round mirror around your neck. The dark blue sprite says, would you like me to take you to Silverwood Manor to see if a mentor is available? You can nod if you want me to do it, or shake your head. Shake head at sprite. Alright, it's already gone and we took too long, it's fine. So if you guys wanted to, there are mentors, other players in the game that will actually take you under their wing and teach you a bit more about the game. And if you feel like that's something you want to do, you by all means can nod to the sprite at the end of this, and it will take you to Silverwood Manor, and I think you can pull like a chain or something, and it will summon someone if they're available. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the tutorial, and you'll notice over here this went red. And that's our mind. If we hit the experience button or type EXP, it says your mind can't take much more of this, you must rest. That basically means your mind is fried. That's what we consider it, our mind is fried. Essentially, when you go out hunting, or at least I do when I go out hunting, that's the state that I want to get my mind in before I return back to town. When you're in town, there's various different places that are considered like experience nodes or just nodes in general. And essentially, the experience drains from your mind into your actual experience bar at a much quicker rate. Plus, you get more mana per pulse at these various different places. So I want you to take a look here. This is our current experience, and then on the next level, our next experience to the next level. It should have gone through now, like the pulse. So our mind might be one step under. Nope, it's still in the fried state. But after like 2 pulses, it should drop down to becoming numbed. But you notice that we now have gained 1312 experience versus the 1285, and we have 1188 until we level. So that's how it works. Your mind fills up, and then as it slowly ticks down over time, it goes into your actual experience. So without doing anything, if we sat here for another 20 minutes or so, or at a node preferably, we would actually gain experience toward our level until our mind was crystal clear. Once it's crystal clear, or clear as a bell, then you're not gaining any more experience resting. Then you need to actually go out and hunt, kill, or do whatever it is that you're going to do again in order to gain more experience. Anyway, folks, that's it for this tutorialized side of things. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I know I skipped some stuff, but I think overall I kept the flow pretty decently. And, well, I hope you guys kind of understood what's going on. In the next episode, which will probably be in a couple of days, it'll either be one more episode or two more episodes, and that'll do it for my first look. Like I said, if you guys get behind this and you really want to see more, and this is like, oh my gosh, it's amazing, I will definitely continue it. If it has some people, maybe I'll play around with it a little bit on and off. But yeah, it's really up to you guys, whether you want to see more or if you don't. Totally up to you guys. Let me know. Comment, like, just let me know, guys. Tell me. Speak your minds. All right, folks, until the very next episode, my name is Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you so much for stopping by the Freak Show, and I will see you later.